Dalziel, and his evaluator is TJ Williams.
Evening. Stan's objectives tonight, I'm not going to read the whole executive summary, it's a little lengthy. However, the objectives are well stated. Select visual aids that are both appropriate for your message and the audience. Use those visual aids correctly with ease and confidence. And Stan will speak from 5 to 7 minutes tonight.
Stan is giving his 8th speech from the Confident Communicator Manual, Getting Comfortable with Visual Aids. Speech title is Willow Lakes Reserve Bank Account. He has asked us to role play. We are members of the Homeowners Association. We are gathered here this evening because we've received notice that the annual dues are going up. Yeah, we are outraged.
Thank you, Stan.
We are here to find out why and maybe voice our reactions to this, to the raising of the dues. So members of the Homeowners Association, please welcome up our speaker tonight to discuss the reasons the dues are going up, Stan Dalziel.
I will be much more serious.
There you go, you're a communist.
A little bit more on the setup. There's something that occurred is when you all were invited to this annual meeting, with that invitation, you also received several trends, several write-ups, and a brief description of why we are here, how we got here, and what we're going to do from here. I'm also a homeowner, so I took this very seriously. I know that a lot of people are laid off. I know a lot of people complain about the dues going up 10% last year. But I'm also here to explain that what I'm getting ready to say is based on real numbers. You'll notice the huge imaginary table behind me is covered with the same information. The numbers of past year's budgets, this year's proposal, we don't know what it is to the end of the year, and next year's proposal. And these trends are based on that. From the creation of this neighborhood in 1998 until now, we should have $250,000 in our bank account, in our reserve account. We don't have that. The reason we don't have it is because the dues at the beginning were only based on operating expenses. A great example of that would be in 2003, when we were supposed to have $30,000 a year going to the reserve, we had less than $500. In 2003, when we should have had $100,000 in the account, we only had about $1,500. And this is 5 years after the creation of the neighborhood. When the neighborhood was first created, there was only 100 houses. Now we have 250. When the neighborhood was first created, it was public road. It was private roads. Now they're public. I would ask that one person on this side of the room get upset at me sometime during this and yell out something to distract me and get me away from my current program, and then someone over there can have the same amount of fun and do it again. All right, great. So,
You lie. You lie.
well, I will refer to the mail that I sent out. There's a lot of information there. I should have arranged that a little differently because at the beginning was a statement that said the dues are going to go up, and further into that, it explained why in depth. But basically, these trends right here show this is where we're at today. This line here, the blue line going up, and this is going to be much bigger because it's going to be 250 people. The blue line going up represents the reserve. The reserve is actually a legal and binding contract to the homeowner association. This says we can't borrow money. We got a pool, we got common area, we got a clubhouse. If anything breaks, we can't borrow money. If the pool pump fails and it costs $10,000, we need to use the reserve bank account from 1998 until today, which should be $250,000 to pay for that pool, to pay for the pool pump. We didn't have that in 2003. If it would have failed, we would not have had a pool in the summer in 2003. We got lucky. And as you can see by the trend, we really, if I can call this the reserve study that was done in 2002 and again in 2006 to make sure that these numbers were real and accurate, we wanted to determine, well, if this is where we need to be, where are we at? We were down here, as you can see on this trend, that shows a flat line down here at the bottom, and then we went to recovery. Recovery happened about 2007.
You're gonna put me out on the street if you go through this.
We are aware of with the recession and stuff like that, but this is illegal. In 2006, we kind of bit the hand that chewed us. By the second study being done, it actually was a legal commitment that said we would get there right now. So in 2007, the board could have said, sorry, when they originally built this neighborhood, they set us up for this 10 years down the road. They did not charge the amount of dues they should have charged for the amount of houses there was. They were in business to sell homes. They did very well. Everybody's very comfortable. But if the roads are going to be private, with a pool, with all the common area and clubhouse that we have, there's no way those dues are initially were reasonable, and there's no way that the limit put on the raise of the dues would have been accurate. So we're in recovery. We anticipate a 10% increase in 2010, which the center trend is that. It shows recovery. In 2007, it starts, and I have this, it can go around the table, because everybody should have one. When you came in, you would have grabbed them by the door, but you obviously didn't see it when you came in. So if you like, you can pass this around, but everybody would have one of these. The center trend shows what will happen with the trend in 2010. That actually clears us from our legal and binding contract for the reserve, but you can see there's a deficit, still $100,000. And remember, this is a 30-year study that says this neighborhood, which lasts 30 years, needs to be able to buy a brand new pool, because at the end of 30 years, we might have to replace it. We can't borrow that money, and we have to finance it now, today, for what might happen 15 years down the road. We anticipate, sorry to say, a 10% raise next year, which would take dues from 440 and put them up to 484 a year, which isn't too bad as far as other neighborhoods around us go, and a 5% increase in 2011, which we might be able to avoid. We are in recovery. We're going to wait for 2010, see what impacts us and how it does, and then in 2011 we might not need a raise at all. But if we continue at current trends, after the 5% increase in 2011, we will not need another increase until our children inherit our houses in 2027. But you can see that on the trends and the information. Are there any questions? And how come nobody on this side of the room got mad? Any questions?
Because we're the wealthy half.
Ramen noodles for everybody. Thank you for your time. I know there's a lot of questions. My email information is available on all the handouts over here and all these. I've been crunching these numbers for a while. First I was optimistic, then I became pessimistic, because you got to hope for the best and plan for the worst, which is where we're at today. We're in good shape, we're recovering, but it will cost a little bit more next year.
Moving forward. Keep moving forward.
Chicken, pork, ramen.
You obfuscated my word.
On the house.
Good job.
Thank you, Stan, for the information. We're now regular people, not homeowners anymore.
We can't yell at you now.
Yeah.
All right, we have a hip pocket speech. And for our one and only guest, the hip pocket speech